This is Steve Schiffman, and thank you very much for joining me. This webcast that we produce each and every day to help you as a salesperson, or if you're a manager, help you manage more effectively. Today, I'm going to talk about the most basic thing in sales. There are 4 things that you as a salesperson or a manager have to be in control of. You have to manage these areas, because if you don't, you will not be successful. And what I like to do when I do a seminar is put these 4 letters up on my flip chart. And they are P, 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 4 letters P. And the first letter stands for prospecting. Prospecting, the need to prospect. The second letter, also a P, stands for presentation skills, the ability for you to make a presentation. Third letter is your product knowledge, and how well you understand your product and can explain it to someone else. So it really isn't product knowledge as much as product malleability. And finally, the last is professional and personal development, things that you do to improve yourself. So there are 4 things. Now, what's the ranking of these? And how did I reach this conclusion? Well, years ago, when I evaluated salespeople, especially the insurance industry, I noticed that salespeople who were making money every year, year in and year out, did the same things. The first thing they had to do was to prospect. And every day they prospect. And prospect accounts for, get ready now, 45% of your success. If you're not prospecting, you've cut off 45% of your success. You have to prospect. That is, you have to find people to speak to every single day, all the time. There's no way around it. You've got to prospect 45% of your success. Well, what about the presentation? Well, if you prospect, you've got to be able to make a presentation. And presentation is only 20% of your success, only 20%. Because even if you're not good at making a presentation, but you got in front of enough people, you will be successful. 20% of your success is in making a presentation. The next is product knowledge. Now, this used to drive me nuts, because every person I ever talked to said, oh, you got to understand your product, you explain it. It's not product knowledge. It's product malleability. How you can explain to someone what it is that you do that's different than somebody else, and how what you do can help them do what they do better. Whether that's solving a problem, fixing something, doesn't matter right now. It's how does it work for them? Because it doesn't matter that it works for you as a salesperson. You know it does. It matters that it works for them. And finally, professional and personal development accounts for the remaining 15%. You've got to do things that will improve yourself on a regular basis, whether that's reading or that's studying, whether it's going to the gym, whatever it is, you've got to do certain things. Sometimes I meet people who work so hard that they forget about themselves. You've got to remember you're involved in this. You're in this picture. You're in the middle of the picture. You're the center of the picture. So you've got to take care of yourself. You can't work 24 hours a day. Even if you wanted to, you can't. Because who are you going to sell to at 4 in the morning unless you're selling it overseas? You can't do it. So you've got to be realistic about what you're doing. So my suggestion is that you look at your prospecting activity. It's not that it is 45% of what you do, and 65% if you include prospecting and presentation. That's not what I'm suggesting. What I'm suggesting is the weight of each one of those areas. So prospecting is 45% weighted on what you have to do. Don't do it, you lose that 45% weighted of what you're going to accomplish. Presentation skills is 20% weighted, 20% weighted average. Your product knowledge or product malleability. Now, malleability is a big word. That's an SAT word. You got to know what that means. It means molding it and fitting it for them, not for you. And finally, professional and personal development is important for you, just for you. That's your time. That's for 15% weighted. That's for you. Now, years ago when we started, we put that as the #1 item. The #1 item in those days was, in fact, professional and personal development, things you did to improve yourself. If you believed in yourself, if you believed you could make the sale, you did. That was the belief. But the reality is what happened was, and I watched it, people who couldn't prospect, who didn't have the skills to prospect, were not going to be successful and were not successful. I could predict it. All I had to do is look at their appointment book. And if they did not have enough appointments for that week, for that month, for that year, you knew they were going to fail as a salesperson. Don't let yourself fall into that trap. Now, a couple things I want to remind you of. This week, the key word is pencil. You drop me a line, and people have been doing it on LinkedIn. If you're not LinkedIn with me, you should be. Drop me a line on LinkedIn and just simply write pencil, and you get a chance to get a book. We sent out, I think, 150 books at this point. So get a book. The book that we're sending out is, in fact, The Big Bang, which is one of my favorite books. So all you got to do is write the word pencil, and you got a chance to win. This doesn't happen, to win a book. Win a book. Okay, so that's number one. Number two, if you need help, if you are struggling as a salesperson, as a manager, let me know. Contact me through the website, contact me internet. You can find me. You know you can find me. Go to Amazon, you can find me. And let me know how I can help you. I get letters, emails all the time. I'd be glad to help you. That's what I'm in business for. That's why I'm here. I've worked with almost 500,000 salespeople in 9,000 companies in 43 different countries around the world. We're going to Sweden soon. We're going to Vegas. Not that Vegas is a country, but we're going to go to Vegas soon. We're going to go to Sweden, do a big program over there. So very excited about that. I'll tell you more about that. So I want to remind you, make sure you're prospecting. That's the most important. You've got to prospect. I don't care what else you do. I don't care if it's raining, it's hailing, it's sleet. I don't care about anything. If you don't prospect somehow, whatever is best for you on a regular basis, and set something up as a result of that, meaning an appointment of some nature, the odds are you're not going to be successful. And I really want you to be successful as we enter 2020. So this is Steve Schiffman. I want to thank you for joining me. And as always, you humble me by your attendance.